Welcome back everyone to another ESO video. Today is about one of the skills that have been altered for the Templar on the current High Isle PTS. Now bear in mind, of course, there's still many weeks to go before the release of this particular chapter, so everything is still work in progress. But if this comes through to live, I know there's a lot of people crying about it at the moment, assuming it's been nerfed and all the rest of it. It's actually pretty good. So we have to obviously balance the game over time and make sure things aren't too powerful, but they have altered how certain things in the game have been scaling recently. So it's always take away something, gain something else, or just level the playing field for everyone. Well, we're talking about Living Dark today. This particular skill usually does a heal every half a second if you take direct damage. But it only lasts for 4 seconds, unless of course you have passives from the Dawn's Wrath skill line, in which case it will last 6. And it will cost roughly around 4.3k magicka. Now that obviously can fluctuate depending on your weights of your armor, and of course glyphs. If you want to mess with that kind of stuff, you can alter that, but generally speaking about 4.2, 4.3, something like that. Well, this is a little different. Before, it used to last a maximum of 6 seconds. Now it lasts a whopping 12. So for efficiency's sake, that is bloody bonkers. So instead of wasting 4k magicka every 6 seconds, or using 4k magicka every 6 seconds, now you use just under 4k magicka every 12. So that means that you have to cast it 2 times less than you would normally. Over a whole minute, that would normally be 10 times, not 5. That is really good for your magicka sustainability, whether you are a DPS or a healer or a tank. Now, strictly speaking, as far as that's concerned, the recovery that you'd actually require is not a lot. You need 640 recovery to maintain that indefinitely. Forever. But, how we're set up at the moment without even popping a potion, we're 1.4k. If you played the lazy tank before, by the way, you know where I'm going with this. This isn't a fully constructed build, but here's just a rough example. 1.4k leaves us a massive amount of recovery left over to use for other things. It's very efficient. And at the same time, the heal itself has been altered in the way it scales. Now, before, this would scale off of 3 contributing factors, and whichever was the strongest would be the one you benefit from. If you had massive high health, it would make a stronger heal. If you had really high weapon damage, it would make a stronger heal. Or if you had really strong or high spell damage, it would give you a stronger heal. Whichever one of those 3 stats you spec'd into highest would benefit you. So across the board, magicka DPS, stamina DPS, big chunky tank, even a healer if you spec'd into it, could benefit from an over-the-top heal. There was no real balance for it. So now it kind of is balanced to increase the heal based on a certain stat or stat type that you choose rather than anything goes. So now it's a base heal. It is a base heal of 2k, but you can increase that. You can increase it not by spell damage, not by weapon damage, and not by health. None of that affects it anymore, so everybody's on an equal playing field. But if you have healing received or healing done bonuses, or healing taken, healing received and healing taken are the same thing, and they do stack, then that is what increases it. Yes, of course, you could take advantage of that before to push it over the edge, but now that's a solid stat, and it's the only thing that can increase it full stop. So if you have stuff like this, where it has a heal and taken bonus, that's a 4% increase to the skill itself. Another one is another 4% increase to the skill itself. If you have healing done, that will increase it. If you have minor vitality, minor mending, major mending, healing taken, healing done, champion points, any of that stuff, if you deliberately spec for survival, then that will give you the benefit. When I say survival, I mean your heals. Now, just bear in mind, of course, while this does look very flat, it's actually really bloody strong once you get into a fight. Buffs and bonuses can boost this as it is. I'm sitting in minor mending right now because of my rune. If you understand a Templar skill here, you will know how that works. If not, sure, we'll have another video for that later. But this already puts it up to 2.5k. Now that is a flat heal every half a second if you're taking direct damage, which you may be as a tank or a DPS or anything. Just bear in mind, of course, that can also crit. So while your minor mending, your major mending, minor and major vitality, healing received or healing done bonuses all benefit this, so do your crit heals. So you can increase this by a further 125% maximum of healing done crits which can make it stupidly overpowered. Now, what you also have to consider is most people that use Live in Dark generally have a resistance buff, and if you don't, then you should be using this because it's ridiculous. This will give you stam recovery every 1 second, which doesn't count as recovery. It's a different stat. It just literally gives it to you. But what you also have to consider is you have a heal every second for standing inside of this. Now, this does scale off of your max health, so this is where the tipping point comes. A tank could benefit from this much, much more health-wise than a DPS, but then they've got a bigger bar to pull, so it makes more sense. Now, while this sits on 3k flat, or 3.2k almost flat, this can increase also. Standing in it will give you a heal every second, which can crit, and if you have Live in Dark on at the same time, this minor bonus increases Live in Dark, and they both stack together. Now, if you do combine these two skills, and you can maintain kind of some form of static position inside your rune, or if you have to move and replace it, standing in it and receiving this at the same time for this particular setup, just a tanky build, will actually give you around, well, do you know what, exactly 9,830 healing flat per second if you don't crit. Bear in mind we have no Mundustone at the moment. You can put on a Thief if you want and increase it. This is also without a powered weapon, which, yes, also increases healing done. This is without any extra major bonuses. Now, if you were to crit in this scenario, your maximum potential for heal per second would be 14,382, which is bonkers. Yes, of course, you sometimes will crit, and yes, of course, you sometimes will fail. Making that medium average, if you like, 12,106 per second. Your average is 12k a second heals. That is insane. Not to mention, of course, it also stacks with Vigor, which can be potentially 4.5k a second. That's without extra healing bonuses. So you could push anywhere between 14 to about 19k a second. I mean, if that's something that you don't like and you think it's nerfed, you should probably delete your Templar. It's really bloody strong if you stack it up. It's about how you build. Now, just to add insult to injury, of course, anything that does hit you with direct damage gets snared. So if that was in PvP, which, I mean, it already works this way, but it's now more efficient resource-wise, if that was in PvP, everything that direct damages you, not only are you getting healed, but it can't catch you. It's stupid. Now, when it comes to combining all these different skills together, plus you've got other stuff from your healers and bonuses and such, in a trial scenario where you have so many different buffs and bonuses going off, if you were to use major vitality, minor vitality, whatever, you can use potions for that if you really want to, you can actually end up pushing your average heals to around sort of 22, 25k a second. You're not going to die anytime soon. Now, the other side of the coin, the DPS side of things. So if we were to switch a tank out and just put some random overland medium sets on, change our stats to stamina and weapon damage and all that good stuff, then of course you would see slightly different results. So what you would see here is this. We've basically got Defiler, Reliquin, and not Reliquin, Defiler, Veladreth, and Red Mountain. So stats are slightly different, as you can see. Now, our magical recovery is lower, but if you used Tripods, you could alter that. But regardless, you can still activate this and this, no trouble. Now, while this rune will be lower, in fact almost half depending on your health, because you could push that up even more, that's still going to give you a substantial heal and your minor mending, which means Live in Dark, although we don't have our heal and receive bonuses from our sets because we changed them out, still gives you 2.27 instead of 2.4, and if you crit, especially as a DPS, because you might be stacking into crit heals, which you can do in your champion points, most people use Fighting Finesse, that's crit damage and crit healing done, you can still meet roughly somewhere in the middle. As a DPS not critting, you will actually heal roughly around 7 to 8k a second. And then if you did crit, you can push that to 11 or 12. Making your average roughly 9, 10 all day long. Which is bonkers. And again, yes, that stacks with Vigor. So you could still stand in stupid, to a certain extent, and heal all day long. Now, I'm not expecting everyone to stack 3 healing skills in content. However, if you want that there for insurance, it is still really, really powerful. You just have to make sure you've got the right stats with you. Bring someone that's bringing some healing done or healing receive bonuses, or bring some yourself. It's still very, very strong. And again, on a healer, while you don't have to necessarily stack into any particular stat anymore, you're still going to benefit because you're going to be stacking all those healing duns. Or at least Most people will. Now we're going to give you a quick demonstration. So first of all, we're going to go on a makeshift lazy tank. As far as champion points are concerned, just in case you are wondering, we have all the flat passive bonuses and we've got some resistances here. But then what we've also taken advantage of is healing done. This does count as single target healing, so this is what you want to use for that. Now, all we're going to do is go up to the first ad pull and see how well this helps us survive, if you like. I'll just pop the potion for no good reason. Never mind. Sorry, my allies and toolkits and everything are all completely messed up on PTS because I have not set these up yet. You need to be dismissed. Goodbye. Now, so I'm going to jump in, rune down, live in dark on, and stand still. My heals are over the amount of damage they're doing. And because it's so efficient, my bar is full, and I can just fire it again before it even runs out. 12-second duration is absolutely bonkers. Oh, and just to confirm, yes, this is on vet. Now, granted, this is an individual ad pull, but I don't have a healer with me. I'm not using the leech in set. And again, just to confirm, I mean, you can see Tormentor, Magma Incarnate, and of course, Rush of Agony, which is the lazy tank build generally. And I haven't even fired Vigor yet, so let's just, for argument's sake, fire Vigor. We'll have all these running, which is great. They're not going to kill me. And that scales the same way no matter how you build. Now, granted, a DPS is going to take more hits individually because you don't have the same resistances. So, you might take some bigger hits to push you to that lower health much, much sooner, and you could end up getting overwhelmed. But the healing's still there, so for general content, it's going to be really, really powerful. I'm not struggling at all. I'm not even trying to block. And how efficient is that? By the time you've gone into 4 seconds of the skill, your magicka is full again. Charge, shield, rune. Watch my magicka. I'm not using anything else, so I don't even need to worry about it. And that's without a Mundustone. And if I was using other magic abilities as well, I've still got that tripod to fall back onto. It's absolutely bonkers. Efficiency-wise, they have stretched the healing to make it still do the same over a long period of time, but they don't need to be spammed so much because of its over-the-top duration. The one thing that I can see happening, if they change this at all, is to lessen the duration again, because 12 seconds is mad. Failing that, I mean, they should probably increase the cost. Now, for the purpose of science, let's get our companion out again. One of our NPC glamorous assistants. Where's he gone? Over here. Hello. We need to change this. Not you. We need to change this back. Now, we've switched over to a DPS build as such, which has got no backbar stuff, nothing really special. But this is basically medium sets and a monster set and some weapon and spell damage stuff. So, we are not a tank anymore. 23.8k health. We are going to get hurt. But let's just see how beneficial this really is from a DPS perspective. Now, of course, it's going to hurt because there's too many enemies for me to deal with. But look at the healing. The healing is bloody bonkers. And again, just to confirm, of course, this is on vet. Yes, I'm going to utilize Vigor a little bit. Yes, I'm going to dodge roll a little bit. But any DPS generally sitting in a situation like this will be dead already. As you can see, the healing done is very, very fast. All you have to do is take damage. But if you're too low, dodge. If you're quite high, then stand there and take it. It's really, really powerful. And you don't have to spam it all day long. Again, I'm not expecting you to sit there and use Vigor all day long. I'm not expecting you to use the Live in Dark all day or the Rune all day. But if you start combining stuff, you can see that you can actually outlast. Now, while I've got no DPS skills on me, I'm still managing to do something useful here without being a complete carpet, basically. Yeah, I have to move around. DPS have to move around, but I'm sitting on 23k health, not 48, and I can still survive. If you overspam it, you're going to run out of juice. If you maintain it and keep yourself calm, you'll be absolutely fine. Once 1 or 2 enemies go down, I can basically stand in it. It's not that bad at all. So, while you can do that with a skill that is supposed to be nerfed, I don't think it's going to be that much of a bigger deal. If you are struggling with the game to the point where you think that you can't use a Templar anymore because that skill is now useless, understand what you just said. Something that is useless has no use. I'm literally demonstrating it has one. Words mean things. Let's get off there. Now, just bear in mind, of course, if that was on a Magplar, you would be using this Plus, you would end up benefiting from this. If you had the Magicka morph of jabs, you're basically putting this on while jabbing all day long while inside your rune. You probably won't die. In fact, we can even demonstrate that. So what I'll do is I'll go to the Crown Store. I'm not set as a Magicka build, so I will run out of resources, but we'll just change the morph of this so that we can go up in the face of the enemy. Bear in mind, of course, Ring of Pale Audit if you were soloing. Absolutely nuts. But go over to this. Yes, you get these for free on the PTS, which is legendary. Change that to the healing morph. I'm not going to be able to do this for very long because I don't have my character built for Magicka, but we'll give it a go anyway. So, this on, this on. Not a chance. Not a chance. Now, granted, this isn't fully built for damage, so it's not going to last that long. It's not going to hit really, really hard, but you get the idea. I can stand in my rune with my core on and spam abilities. It's broken. While that was much, much stronger in the past as far as the flat heals per tick are concerned, then, of course, that is something that is lesser now, but the efficiency is there. It's every half a second. This is every 1 second. This is every half a second. It's mad. The more damage you take, the more you heal. The problem is people want the big burst heal up front, but they're going to run out of Magicka on the current live server. This longer duration changes the game. So it's not completely over. It's not Templars are dead now, quickly bury them. It's try and adapt to the situation and realize that you've now got a benefit to this. And when it comes to the lazy tank, if you are familiar with it, of course, then where's my quick slot, dude? What you have to consider is stuff like this. Allies, where's he gone? Put him in such a wrong place. There we go. Hello. Right. The tank before used to have quite a lot of Magicka resource abilities and or costing abilities, and this would be a bit expensive. So what we'd have is we'd have time stop and stuff like that, which would cost a fair bit. That's pretty much it for those, actually. You'd have core, you would have your charge, and you'd have your time stop. Okay, so we're going to do a very, very, very quick demonstration about how that might be an issue in content previously and how it's not anymore. So we'll drop the time stop, jump in, core on, potion on. I'm going to use time stop again in a couple of seconds, and as you can see already, my Magicka is full. I'm going to need the core in 4 seconds, or live in dark in 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, full bar, use it. I'm not going to run out. I'm not going to run out. Return. Once every 14 seconds, because 15 seconds you'll run out. I can use that. Once every 12 I can use this, and as and when I can use this. Taun's going to run out in 3 seconds. Fired. Not running out. Live in Dark's going to run out in 2 seconds. Cast again. And it's as simple as that. It's mad. And that's without a group helping me with Magicka resources. Stun, taunt the room, pinned, potion. I'm not even trying. I don't have a Mundustone. Mad. So for anyone using the lazy tank in the past, it just got lazier because your efficiency just went up through the roof. For anyone not using it in the past, keep an eye on the update because it's coming after the patch is live. And for anyone using it on a DPS or a healer, if you're using the Living Dark already, you no longer have to spend as much Magicka over a long period of time, and you'll still benefit from a great heal. Anyway, people, hopefully that helped. Hopefully it wasn't too much waffle. And hopefully that was a little bit of insight as to what's going on in the PTS with this particular skill. And hopefully you are not too scared of change. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribing, please do hit that button, of course. And let me know what you think about this particular change in the comments section below. Hopefully it goes to live. If not, we'll look forward to some changes. Thank you very much indeed again, and bye-bye.